What's going on, everyone? We're just going to talk about Baby Doge here. We've got a discount inside of the price inside of Baby Doge. We got Bitcoin at a discount. We got all of the crypto market at a huge discount. We're going to talk about how much lower this could possibly go, and if right now is quite possibly a good time for you to buy. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Definitely do your own research here, but let's get straight to it. So, first things first, looking here at the Baby Doge price, this is pretty good for a price 8C2400. We did get all the way down here to 8C20. And I was talking about this in my previous video, how these little green lines here, these lightly shaded green lines here with the chart prime automated trading indicators, link in the description for that if you want to sign up. But with these chart prime indicators, when you look at the green lines, they act as support lines. So they stop right at those green lines. So that's why it stopped there. Now, right now, we are at a Fibonacci support, which just so happens to also be the same support as the green line here. Now, with this Fibonacci support, it's looking like we're staying right above that support. But if we are to ever drop below this, we are going to go down hard here with Baby Doge. It's going to go below this support because it already touched it once. And it's going to go to the next one here where the momentum wave band is. So 18 or 8Z 1800. So we're going to be dropping down to that 1800 point if we cannot hold the support here for Baby Doge. So if we cannot hold the support and stay above this support at 8Z2300, then we are going to end up dropping down to 8Z1800. So it could be a bigger discount. So whether or not it's good to buy now or wait, me personally, remember I said I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Me personally, I would wait because what I'm seeing here is if we are to go a little bit lower, there could be a discount in the price. Now, if it doesn't go below the support, it could take off from here because what do we have right here? We have the resistance that goes up to 8Z 2600, 8Z 2700 pretty much. So if we were to increase in the price here at Baby Doge, it would almost immediately go up here to this red line at 8Z 2700. So the problem with that is if you wait too long, then we could go a little bit lower, or then we could, instead of going a little bit lower, going up here to 8Z 2700. But if you were to buy now at 8Z2400, there's always that possibility that we drop down here to the support. Now, me personally, I think there's more of a chance for it to go down to this lower support than to go up. And that's because I'm also looking at the Bitcoin prices and I'm looking at the movement right now with Bitcoin. Looking here at the RSI on Bitcoin, for one, Bitcoin is crossing here on the RSI. So it seems like it's about to go back up. But if it gets rejected again at 67K before it can even get above 68, 69K, if it gets rejected again at 67K, then what I'm looking for is for Bitcoin to go down to the support on the Fibonacci and on our momentum wave band. And that is down around 56K. So if Bitcoin drops to 56K, you could probably bet that Baby Doge would probably drop down to the 1800 line and possibly even go back down to 8Z 1200. So that's kind of looking like what could happen right now. So you definitely want to watch out for that, and that's what I'm watching for. Now, the momentum wave bands are also curving downwards. Typically, when we see this with our automated trading indicators with Chart Prime, we're typically going inside of a downtrend. So that's kind of what we're looking at here with Bitcoin. So that could be the same thing happening for Baby Doge. Now, also, you want to look at, the fundamentals, what's going on, federally, what's going on with the federal government, where we're having like just a lot of stuff going on right now. The GDP growth rate, the quarter over quarter final. So they're doing the quarterly rates on the 28th of March, and that's going to come out on the 28th of March. So if that is bad or if it's good, we'll see what happens. But if it's really bad, we're going to get an initial drop in the price of Bitcoin followed by a pump. The drop because people are just, scared, running around like, chicken with its head off. And then we're going to get that pump because if the GDP is going down, that means the US dollar is decreasing. If the US dollar is decreasing, why would you want to hold the US dollar? You would want to put your money into another avenue so then it would raise inside of value because the US dollar is going down. So you want your money to go up. So you would rather want to buy Bitcoin. But if the US dollar is going up, then that means that you would want to hold your money in dollars. So, off that initial announcement, if it's a good announcement and the GDP is going up and it's growing at a good rate, then people are initially going to buy in on Bitcoin just because the hype. They're like, oh, the GDP is going crazy, blah, blah, blah. The retail people are going to be buying in on that. But on the other hand, the big whales, big money, they're going to buy in at first. And then once it pumps enough, they're going to sell and they're going to get it back into US dollars because US dollars are now worth more as the GDP growth is going up. So you definitely want to pay attention to that. And just to kind of summarize all that, if the GDP growth rate is negative and it's bad, then what's going to happen is an initial pump followed by a dump. If the GDP is good, the growth rate's good, we're going to see an initial pump followed by a dump. So either way, is gonna, yeah, either way, I believe this is gonna have an effect on the market, right? So I see this going down just a little bit. It's not gonna be like a huge dump. It's gonna be a temporary decrease in the price because the whales are gonna shake out the weak hands, so then they can buy at a cheaper price. They want to buy around 56K, possibly even lower. So the whales are looking to buy Bitcoin at a discounted price, and typically right before the halving happens, we get a drop in the price, right? Everything goes down right before the halving, and then the halving happens, and then everything just goes up and goes crazy from there. So, if this whole GDP thing isn't that bad, then what we will see is probably a little bit of a pullback anyway. So I was like, you can't really prevent it. So it's just going to be delayed if the GDP is good. So we'll have to see what's going to happen there. And then some people will probably argue and try to say like, no, if the GDP rate is bad, then people are just going to sell out because they're scared. Yes, but that initial, like the initial meeting, people are going to buy because like, oh, look, we have a meeting. They're going to anticipate it. They're going to like, it's going to be good, blah, blah, blah. We're having a meeting. It might be good. People start buying. The price starts going up right before the meeting. Bad news comes. Maybe it hits 68K, 69K. Bad news comes. And then boom, it drops right as the bad news comes in. So going into the meeting, we're probably going to see an increase in price. And then if it's bad news is when we're going to get that pullback. So that's why I'm saying either way, it's going to go up in price a little bit. But if it's bad news, then it's going to get stopped out. If it's good news, it might go up a little bit higher and then get stopped out. So that's what we're going to have to watch out for. Also, the day after that, on the 29th, we have the Fed Chair Jerome Powell making his whole speech. So he's going to do his whole speech. He's going to talk about what's going on with inflation and all that, what's going on with the GDP growth and what they plan on doing. So every single time we have one of those, we always get the pumps because, it's been decently good recently. But if it's not going to be as good, we're probably going to see the same thing where we go into the day with the anticipation that it might be good, and then it's bad, and then boom, it just goes down. So we're going to have to wait for that as well. So looking at this and how this ties to Baby Doge, everything's following Bitcoin. If we have very bad news, there's a possibility Baby Doge goes all the way down to 8C1250. I know people don't want to see it drop that much, but I mean, it's not that far from where we are now. Look at how quickly we went from 8C1250 all the way up to 8Z2400, right? We went to there from February 27th to March 4th. That is the shortest amount of time. If you think about it, it's not that long. So that's why I'm kind of looking at this like we want to pay attention to this because, from February 27th to March 4th, that's literally 6 days. In the matter of 6 days, we went from 8Z1250 to 8Z2400, right? So we went up a whole 100% in 6 days on Baby Doge. So what makes you think that we can't go down that much? So that's what we really want to pay attention to. That's what we want to look at. So what I would believe is going to happen is, like I said before, if we can't get past this 8Z2700 area and Baby Doge goes and it breaks this support here at 8Z2400, we could see it go to 8Z1800. And then if the news for the GDP rate, like the GDP growth, and also for the Jerome Powell speech is bad, then what we will see possibly is us going down all the way to AC1250, bringing us a good discount. So that is good news, because if you're at a discount, now you can buy even more. I mean, personally, I trade. I buy in, I get out once I get my profits. So good for people like me, maybe not so good for people that are just sitting here trying to hold long term. But the way I see it right now, like baby doge, a lot of the times when it goes up, a lot of times it just can't hold its price. It can't hold it. It hasn't been able to hold it for the longest. You know, it pumps and then it kind of has a hard time holding it. So we've kind of been around the same bottom, like our bottom. We've been bottoming out at the same levels since let's see, since 2022. So if you look at it around the same time of 2022, our bottoms are typically around the same 8Z1250, around 8Z10, 8Z11. So it's typically the same bottom. For the last 2 years, we've had the same bottom for baby doge. So that's interesting, but that's part of the reason why I rather just trade it now, because might as well trade it because it keeps pumping, but then it goes all the way back down to the same bottom, the same floor price. So that's my strategy here with baby doge. That's why it's a good thing for me if either way this happens. So the way I look at it is, let's say right now you're like, I'm just gonna buy now because it might go up. So you go ahead and you're like, let's just go ahead and buy now, blah 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 blah, and then you go ahead and put $1,000 in our current price. You're only getting 416 baby doge, right? As opposed to if you did your $1,000 and you did it at 8Z1250, then you're going to be looking at 800 billion baby doge. So you're doubling the amount of baby doge just by waiting for it to go down lower. And if that happens and you get in at that price, and then you jump out at the price that we were just now talking about, at the price we're at now you're going from $1,000 to $1,900. So the way I'm looking at this is you could make so much more money just by waiting, and that's personally what I'm going to be doing. So you can either lose that much money or you can make that much money. So what I'm looking at here from this perspective, I'm trying to get up to 8Z, or I'm trying to get down to 8Z1250, because if I can just get in at that price, then I will definitely be able to get a lot of baby doge. 800 billion looks good. Personally, I buy on Mexi Global because it's a centralized exchange, 0% buy and sells. Whereas right now we only have 0% buys on baby doge swap. I rather have 0% buy and 0% sell. So I like to use centralized exchanges, Mexi Global, link in the description. You can go ahead and use that. It also helps support out the channel as well, because I get commissions on there as well. So that'll help support the channel. If you want to go ahead and get the Chart Prime automated trading indicators, that'll also help support the channel as well. Very good trading indicators. I always use them, and that'll help support the channel as well, as I also get commissions there. But moving on from that, looking at another thing here, baby doge has been being mentioned a lot. Out of 62,000 votes, baby doge got 43%, of which meme community has your heart for the BNB chain official Twitter. So that's a lot. Like 62,000 people picked baby doge. Well, not all of them, but it was baby doge versus Dogecoin versus Floki versus all the others. Most people said baby doge. So that's very good. That's very, very good. And if you look inside of here, most people are mentioning baby doge down here. Well, some people are saying baby bonk because that's like the new thing. But baby doge is top pick for the people on here. So that's pretty cool. And then you can see over here the top BNB projects on Binance Futures next, because they're trying to get baby doge on there, ranked number 4. So that's pretty decent. But it looks like baby doge isn't gonna win that. Delicium is gonna win it. I don't know what the first one is, honestly, but these are just the BNB chain ones. I've never really heard of this Delicium or whatever it's called. I don't even know. I've never heard of this, but I guess people like it. And I don't know. Maybe I'll do some research on this coin. It seems pretty interesting. It's like an AI coin. That's what it looks like. So yeah, I guess I'll do some research on this project. See exactly what they got going on there. But yep, this is pretty much all I got for you all today. Let me know exactly what you think about this. What do you think? We're going to be bullish or bearish here in the near future for baby doge? Hit that like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Do your own research. And as always, I'll be back with another video.